the problem is not just asylum seekers. A lot of the people are British as well. If I'm being honest, they just don't want to work.
In the UK, there's more than 1.6 million people that are listed as unemployed. That's a record. We've never had that many unemployed people.
What do you think that is?
You're ruining the country. You're part of the reason that the housing crisis is here. They want an all-white Britain. That doesn't sit right with me. A lot of my UK British tenants, they're the ones that are messing me about. My social housing ones don't have that same problem.
My name is Sean Davis. I specialise in social housing, specifically the two strategies, supported accommodation and temporary accommodation. Been in the game now 7 years actually, so it's been a whirlwind, a good whirlwind, ups and downs, but I'd say the upside outweighs the downside. And I've got over 500 rooms now in the portfolio across Birmingham. What I'm aiming to do now is actually scale nationwide. That's the next stage of the process for me. I think social housing is such a game changer because number one, it creates a huge positive impact in the community. And I think a lot of people do actually want to help. They want to get into social housing. I feel like not many people are really talking about it. And because there's so much red tape involved in social housing, people start, they might try to call a council, they can't get through to the council, they don't get the response they want, and they just give up. One of the things, that myself and we're both doing is we're now helping other people get involved in property, which has been an absolute game changer. There's been lots of collaboration. There's been JVs from it. And I feel like we're changing the game.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm Luigi Newton. For anyone watching that doesn't know, I've got 31 properties in Nottinghamshire. Actually, I've got 30 in Nottingham and 1 in Grimsby now. It's a new area.
Nice.
And portfolio value is about £7.1 million. And live in Dubai, run it all remotely in the UK. But I think property is very confusing.
Oh, very.
For a lot of people, it's like an absolute maze. They're going on YouTube, they're looking and thinking, right, which route should I actually go down?
Yeah.
We're both in social housing.
Yeah.
We do it in 2 different ways. I do it on the buying side, leasing to providers. You do it on the rent to rent side. So, you've obviously got a lot more properties than me on the rent. Yours are all rent to rent, but you've got a lot. So it's like over 90 properties.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to wrap your head around that. It's like, whoa, that's a lot of properties.
Yeah, it is. It comes with a lot of headache as well.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's great. I feel like whatever I'm involved in, it needs to be changing lives. Like I always talk about the role of an entrepreneur. The role of an entrepreneur is to, number one, solve problems. Number two, create value. You get paid in proportion of the value that you're solving. So the problems that you're solving and the value that you're creating. And I feel like there's a huge problem in the UK right now.
Yeah, there is.
The stats are crazy. I was actually looking at the stats the other day. And this year, there's an extra 1 million people that are now on universal credit. So the councils, they obviously have an obligation to house people that can't afford accommodation or their council tenants, and they've got nowhere to put them.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people talk about asylum seekers, etc. And but the problem is not just asylum seekers. A lot of the people are British as well, just not working. It could be for various different reasons, whether that's they want income, so employment support allowance, or they've got a disability, they can't work, or it could just be honest, if I'm being honest, they just don't want to work.
Yeah, that's it, man.
So,
you know what? There's a crazy stat that I saw as well.
Yeah.
It basically says that in the UK, officially, there's more than 1.6 million people that are listed as unemployed. But when you include those that are on sickness benefits, and disability benefits, etc., the number soars past 6.5 million.
Wow.
And that's for the first time ever. So 6.5 million people.
Yeah.
That's a record. We've never had that many, unemployed people. Or
what do you think that is?
I wish I could give you a quick answer. I think it's a wide part of a wider problem. The UK is crazy right now. I just went back there the other week because my granddad's funeral. Yeah. I went and I could just feel a lot of tension.
Yeah, there is.
The vibe right now, the general vibe, very tense. Yeah. Whereas in Dubai, it's obviously much different.
Do you know what the big thing there? It's like a big culture shift in Dubai where I feel like people don't really have a victim mentality. Some of the conditions, the workers and the lifestyle, it's actually a lot harder than the UK because here, you don't get given anything. You've got to work. You've got to ensure that you're contributing to the economy to earn your keep here. But I feel like the big issue with the UK, obviously I'm in the social housing game, so as in like I'm housing these tenants with the actual organisation. And you know, I personally have a chat to some of these tenants, and a big thing about it is a victim mentality. I see it straight away.
Yeah, 100%.
They don't want to. If you give them a solution, it's not obviously not everyone, but a lot of them. You give them a solution. Say, look, that's your problem. Let me help you solve it. That's how you solve it. There, don't want it.
Yeah,
we don't want it, and it's a bit like people that want to start a business. Sometimes they want to start a business, but they're like, oh, it's too hard. They say they give themselves a problem or an obstacle even before it arises.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue of a lot of people. It's mindset.
Yeah, I think a lot of people abuse the system as well.
Yeah.
So people that, you know, they saying they can't find a job, so they go on job seekers allowance. I don't know if that's still a thing, job seekers allowance.
Yeah, it is.
Universal credit, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Lots of people. Someone said to me the other day that it works out that they make more money by claiming benefits than they do by working a job.
Oh yeah, but it's always been like that. It's always I literally remember when I was working in co-op, and there was a guy that I knew, and he was I was just talking to him. He's like a family friend, and he was on benefits. He's always been on benefits. And I remember at the time I was earning working full time at co-op, and I was earning like £800 a month, and he was literally laughing at me. He goes, "You're stupid." So what do you mean? He goes, "You're stupid." Because I'm on benefits. I get my free house. I get a flat. I get my unit. Well, back then it was just DSS. I get my DSS, and it works out that my flat would have been like £600 a month back then, and like and then it was getting like £400. But it says you're having to you're slaving, working for the system in co-op. And I'm sitting at home, and I was like, I thought, you know what, I thought it's got a good point there, because for me, I've always been a worker, and like for me, I couldn't just sit at home and do nothing. My mind needs to be stimulated. But I thought to myself, like, the UK government, they make it so easy to the point where, and it's the same now, by the way. If you're on minimum wage and you work full time, you'll actually earn more money just by just going to being on universal credit and just getting a free house. Yeah.
And I think the other massive topic right now as well is obviously the immigration and, you know, asylum seekers and you know, people are really feeling like there's a massive influx of asylum seekers and immigrants coming to the UK. So the reason I'm saying this is because I posted something on my Instagram, because I was getting quite a lot of hate online. You know, guys saying to me, "You're ruining the country. You're part of the reason that the housing crisis is here. You know, Luigi, you're part of this problem." Now, they would also say a lot of comments like they want an all-white Britain and things like that. That doesn't sit right with me. You know, I'm strongly against that mindset, and I feel like, you know, the UK should be a multicultural place.
Yeah.
Everyone should be welcome from different cultures and backgrounds and countries. If they're bringing something to the UK, people say, okay, but they're not bringing anything. They're just wanting free housing, etc. But the interesting thing is, a lot of my tenants, because I have half social housing and half working professionals, a lot of my UK British tenants, they're the ones that are messing me about. They're the ones that are not paying. They're the ones that sometimes have, you know, antisocial behavior issues. You know, my social housing ones don't have that same problem. Seems like they come, they keep their head down. And I think that most of them are working and actually trying to build something.
100%. I've housed people that are asylum seekers. They've come into the country, they've got their leave to remain, and they're studying, they're working, and their aim, from my experience, is they come in and they're on a mission. They're studying, and then they exit when they get a full-time job. And the transition is fairly quick.
But it's definitely a sensitive topic, because some people are so heated, and
you
know, I'm trying to put myself in their shoes and thinking, what exactly do they not like about the asylum seekers? They're saying, I think a big thing is like they feel like they're taking the jobs and they're abusing the system and getting benefits.
So look, basically my take on this whole immigration thing is, I get it. If someone is coming into the UK illegally, then my view is they should be deported. We should, the UK taxpayer shouldn't be funding illegal immigrants, essentially, or as America they call them aliens.
Yeah.
But the ones that legally come in and they've applied and they've been accepted, I don't have an issue with that at all. And I think a lot of the racist comments online, they're just immigration. They're just seeing them all in the same picture. But if they've been approved, if they've gone through the system legally and they've applied to be here, I don't have an issue because they're the ones that I house. They're the ones that are contributing to the economy, and they're not causing an issue. We know exactly what there is, what they are, and I'm able to see their status and see their leave to remain and see their ID, etc. And for me personally, I've never ever had an issue with any of those ones. What's your thoughts on it all?
Yeah, so I feel like it's part of a bigger agenda.
Yeah,
and I do think that the government, they kind of it depends actually. It's because I heard something that's very interesting. Someone said that billionaires, they're pushing the agenda of immigration being a problem because it takes away from the other argument of we need to tax billionaires more, because that's another big topic. Is you know, should we be taxing the rich a lot more?
How do you tax the rich?
Like they're saying, if someone's a billionaire or multi-millionaire, they should be paying a higher tax kind of thing. So, and that would solve a lot of the problems with the economy and general UK society.
So just move.
Yeah,
that's the issue. Like, it's so when people say tax the rich, the rich will just move, or they have offshore accounts and trust in other countries where.
Yeah.
So,
but they're saying that they're really behind this agenda, and I think someone was saying Elon Musk is pushing this as a big problem of, you know, the illegal immigrants. It's a massive problem. Trying to get the people to really focus on that, to take it away from the other side of taxing me.
Yeah. But what's your thoughts on the actual illegal immigration problem in the UK?
Yeah, if it's illegal immigration, that is bad. You know, and they need to really get hold of that and stop that from happening. If it's asylum seekers, like people in legitimate war-torn countries, I think, let's house them. These people will probably work very hard.
They do, yeah.
They've probably been through a lot of stress in their other countries. They want to build something here. Let's let them do it. Yeah. We need more ambitious people that are going to come here, work hard.
Yeah.
You know.
And this is, and that's a fair argument, because what I'm seeing online is not that. And what I'm seeing online is that they don't want anyone coming here. Yeah. Anyone from another country, just go back to your own country.
Yeah.
But
that's racist.
Yeah. But the illegal immigration, I do agree with the points that they should be sent back to their own country.
Yeah.
But if they've come here legally, I don't see what the problem is with that. Yeah. And would you say that, you know, like the hate that you'll be getting online? Because I've seen the comments, and I know you had a bit of a viral post in you. Yeah. But I was reading the comment, and it's crazy that a lot of people don't. They talk before they've actually understood the context of the situation. Yeah. So obviously, you've done what did the post say?
So basically, I was just saying that a lot of the people that are complaining about me housing asylum seekers through a social housing provider, Serco. That's one of the providers I work with. They're called Serco. They house different, you know, types of people. But one type of people that they house is asylum seekers. So I put that, you know, on a post. I said, I house asylum seekers and I'm doing a good thing. People have been in war-torn countries, are coming here. And a lot of people complaining just seem to be racist.
Yeah.
That point there really triggered a lot of people. People were saying that, you know, they want my family to get raped and murdered and all this stuff. And they were saying some deep things. But I just tried to ignore it and brush it off.
Yeah, a lot of them are just keyboard warriors, aren't they?
Yeah.
And a lot of them will have, I can tell you straight, even before looking, faceless pictures, private accounts. It's always the same when you get a hater. They don't say it with their chest, with a public profile, with their face on it. So it's a bit crazy. But yeah, I think we both have the same viewpoint on that in terms of our standpoint on immigration. But it's a huge topic right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think people are focused on the wrong things. They need to be focused on, you know, building something for themselves rather than having a victim mindset of, I need someone to blame.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
So who do they go to? Illegal immigrants, or they go to asylum seekers?
Yeah, because what it is as well, and this is the same with a lot with success. If you see a someone come to the UK as an immigrant and they've had literally nothing, and they've been able to start a business, become successful, and create more jobs for the economy, contribute to the economy, or on the other side, they go and study and become a doctor or become something else. If you're British and you're sitting at home thinking, actually, that could have been my opportunity, but it would have been if you just worked for it.
Yeah.
Whereas these people, they want it more. They don't have a victim mentality.
That's it.
And I think that's what it is. And sometimes it can be quite hard and even like just as just from a business sense for anyone, if you've grown up with someone or you see someone and you think they had a harder opportunity, harder circumstances than me, and now they've become more successful. Yeah. People find that hard to accept.
Yeah, it's like the crabs in a bucket mentality. Yeah. In the UK, I know I've really felt it myself. It's like, okay, even moving to Dubai, I just felt that feeling of people trying to drag you back. Yeah, like, no, like, don't do it. It's bad, just dragging you back. So that's definitely a thing in the UK where I feel like other countries like Dubai, they celebrate success more.
Oh, 100%.
And you definitely feel it in the UK.
Yeah.
So I think for people watching, if they are on their business and property journey and they're starting to get some success, they need to be ready for the hate because it will happen.
Oh, yeah.
And it will come from people that you don't want.
Yeah.
You don't want these people to turn on you, but sometimes they do. So we're talking, can be close friends, relatives, people really switch up on you, start acting differently towards you once you get more and more success.
What do you think that is?
It's tough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's people are not happy with where they are. So when they see someone else doing well, they obviously, it makes them triggers an insecurity and it makes them feel, okay, I'm not happy with that. And sometimes it's just a vibe that you can get from someone.
Yeah.
Like, when you're just around someone, you get them bad negative vibes.
Yeah. For me, I've always been able to celebrate someone else's success as if it's my own.
Yeah.
From day one, even when I was working in co-op on £4 an hour, I didn't have anything to my name.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford anything, but I'd see, I don't know, a guy driving past in a Ferrari and I'd be so happy for him.
Yeah.
But more importantly, my mindset has always been, if one man can do it, then that's the blueprint. If I just follow that blueprint, because there's a system to everything. There's a system on making 10K a month, the system for making 100K a month. If you just follow that same system, you can get the same result.
Yeah. There's like a lot of people though, they feel like that's unattainable for them. And I think people feel like if they're starting out from scratch, or say for example, they've saved up like 5, 10, 15,000 pounds, they feel like they don't have enough to buy a property, so they can't get into property. The reality is there's other ways to get into property without buying.
Yep.
Like, if I could take back time, so obviously I've always focused on buying properties. If I could take back time, I would actually do things a little bit differently. I would focus on a different strategy, which is what you do, and which is what we teach our students that are starting out with kind of lower budgets, which is rent-to-rent social housing and rent-to-rent temporary accommodation. Talk to us, in a nutshell, what is that? And how much does someone need to get started in that strategy? Yeah,
it's a fantastic strategy because like with any business, you got to look at what is the demand and also does it make actual, like, is it a viable business strategy? And it really is. You got to look at the demand firstly. So the councils have more tenants than properties. They're inundated with tenants. They can't keep up. So that's a huge problem. As an entrepreneur, you look at, okay, there's a problem. How can I be part of the solution? Part of the solution is finding properties and actually leasing and working directly with the council, becoming a provider with the council and leasing the properties to house the council tenants. And that's essentially what it is. You find the property from the landlord or an agent, you take it on under a lease, not AST. People don't really say this anymore, actually. I haven't heard it, maybe they do, but I haven't heard this in a while. But I remember back in the day when I first started rent to rent, people would say it's illegal. You can't do rent to rent, and it's illegal doing it on an AST because it doesn't allow you to lease it to essentially sublet it. But when you have a commercial lease agreement, it allows you it gives you the right permissions to be able to underlet it, essentially. So you sign a commercial lease agreement with the landlord, and then you lease it back out to a provider or a council directly, and you start profiting.
Wow. So someone might be renting a property for, say, £1,000.
Yeah.
Let's just say a 3-bedroom, normal semi-detached house, let's say.
Yeah.
Actually, let's say a terraced house, 3-bed terraced house, £1,000 a month. So talk to me about that deal, just as an example.
Yeah. So typically you'd rent it out from the landlord at 1,000, you'd lease it back out to the council, and you'd make anything from 1,500 to £2,000. That'd be gross. So then you're left with a profit of £500 to £1,000.
Wow. And then the provider would cover all of the bills, all of the maintenance.
Yeah.
It typically would give you a long lease on a property.
Yeah.
So it's very similar to the way I do things when I buy a property. I'll do it up and I'll lease it to a social housing provider.
Yeah.
And they'll give me a fixed rate. They'll give me a guaranteed income.
Yeah.
So on like a 4-bed HMO, it might be like £1,600 a month. That's what they'll pay. Sometimes a lot more. So it's very interesting. And we're both in the same space.
Yeah.
And it was funny though, because when I met you, I was actually just getting into social housing. And I feel like you did influence me into social housing because I was able to see what you were doing. I had my other friend Boogie. He was also doing it as well. So I was looking at you guys and thinking, all right, they must be doing it for a reason. Let me look into it a bit. Started really doing a deep dive, and I realized, okay, this solves my problem, because my problem was I had 10 properties at the time, and I realized it was so time consuming managing the property managers.
Yeah.
So what I did was I thought, right, okay, let me see what you're doing, what Boogie's doing, social housing. Let me see how I can do it with the purchasers. Boogie owned like 300 plus properties. I was asking him, and he did it in a different way. But anyway, I managed to find some social housing providers, and I basically leased them property, and it worked very well. And I scaled. So all my next 15 properties were all social housing. And now my portfolio is like a combination of half social housing and half working professionals.
Yeah.
But I wish I got into social housing sooner.
It's so much easier, isn't it?
It's a night and day difference.
Yeah.
Because you've got experience with working professional HOs, Airbnbs, and social housing.
I've done them all. I've got the t-shirt on them all, and social housing all day, because it allows you to be able to budget from a business point of view. You can budget. It gives you more financial stability, and you know exactly what you're going to earn. When you're housing professionals, the risk is, if a tenant decides, if you're one of your professional tenants, let's hope this doesn't happen, touch wood, but if one of your tenants decide, Luigi, I'm not paying you.
Oh, that's happened.
Yeah.
That's happening right now.
And by the way, I don't plan on moving out either.
Yeah.
You know what? That whole process, number one, it's going to cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds to get them out. Yeah. But not only that, it's going to be a very lengthy process, usually 6 to 9 months, sometimes more, because of how slow the court system is. And you know what's crazy? They will call citizens' advice, or they'll call the council directly. You know what the council will tell them? Do not move. The council, right, will tell them, and the citizens' advice will say, even if you have an eviction notice from your landlord, don't move, stay at the property until they have a court order. That's advice. And that court order can be a nightmare. So from a business point of view, when you're housing, you've got these HMOs, and people, I don't really hear anyone from the HMO professional sector talking about this, but you've got all these HMOs, you might be making £1,500, you might even be making £2,000 a month. But if you've got 6 tenants, you're relying on all those 6 tenants to pay. Yeah. If one of those tenants decide not to pay, that profit is going down very, very quickly.
Yeah, I've got a great example of this. So on paper, some of these, HMO conversions, on paper, when I was doing them, I was like, right, this is going to give us a 30% return on investment. Yeah. Okay, on paper, working professional, HMO. But the reality is that same deal might end up being a 13 or 14% return on investment because of all the unforeseen costs. Yeah. People moving in and out, maintenance issues, people not paying the rent. Yeah. These things, they do add up over the course of a year. You look at your 100%. Actual ROI and you're like, okay, I thought it was going to be this, but it's actually this. Yeah. It's a big problem. Yeah. And especially with all the new regulations coming into play, it's working well for social housing right now. Yeah. And, it is attractive for landlords to lease properties to social housing providers. Hey, I'm going to continue to do it.
Yeah. Even like the white goods, like you got to think if you've got a 6-bedroom HMO, think about how often all the facilities are being used and abused most of the time. Yeah. So I don't know about you, but I go through a lot of washing machines.
Yeah.
I'm replacing washing machines like every other month.
Yeah.
Because I get abused. And, you know, if you lease it to a social housing provider, that's the social housing provider's problem to replace it. But if you're doing it through a professional, then obviously that problem comes back on you.
Yeah.
That's going to eat out your profits as well.
Yeah. A lot of people might be watching this and thinking, oh, this is a bit confusing.
Yeah.
I don't really get what these two are talking about with social housing and back-to-back leasing and social housing providers. But I think people need to know that they can reach out to us using a link in the description of this video. We do offer like advanced training for people that want to start, scale and grow their property businesses using social housing, using the two methods, buying properties and leasing them to providers, and also the rent-to-rent social housing side of rent-to-rent temporary accommodation. So they can reach out, talk to us.
Yeah. Question for you. How important is a mentor? Because obviously we mentor, but we also pay a lot of money for mentors as well.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts in terms of how important is it?
Yeah. So, you know, me and you invested in a business coach. We paid £12,000. It was a big investment at the time. And, you know, this was a long time ago, but we did that and it was like, the results we got from that was crazy. That really catapulted both of our success in
100%.
business. And, you know, even just having the community there, being able to speak with other people that are doing the same thing, it was massive for us, you know. And it was like a business coaching program, taught us how to do tons of different things to do with business. And it massively helped. So I'm just so glad that we did it.
100%. The way I see a mentor is you can either pay with your time or you pay with your money. For me personally, I don't want to pay with my time because I can't get that back. Money, I can get it back. Yeah. So for me, it makes sense just to pay someone who's already done it, who's already got the t-shirt. Same thing we teach our students. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Yeah. Unless you're someone like Elon Musk, who is genius. But he's doing things that ain't been done before. Like he's doing stuff in space. He's got his Starlink with the Wi-Fi stuff in space. It's like it's all crazy things. No one's been done before. But other than that, most things that you want to do have been done before. Yeah. And they've been done to a very high standard. So for me, it's very simple. Like you find someone who wants to, you find someone who's done what you want to do, and you literally just pay them to copy the formula. Yeah. And then you'll get the same result.
Yeah, that's why we say to people, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just literally follow the steps on the program. Yeah. But in terms of the mentorship, when I started in property, I was really trying to find people that were transparent, that would tell me the numbers, because you know it's a massive problem online on the YouTube space where people are showing the deals that they've done, but they never actually would show you the detailed numbers of I bought it for X, I spent X on it, got valued at X, here's a monthly profit, here's a ROI. You know, they don't give you that. So I thought, when I come into this space, when I start doing deals, I'm going to show everything. And I think that's me and you've got on very well because we both have that same mindset of transparency. Now, obviously, there's some things that you can't share online because you work directly with the councils. You know, you got to protect your business at the end of the day. Yeah. But I'm all about that, man. I think transparency, people can go down on my YouTube channel, scroll down and see all of my deals. Yeah. You know?
It's very, very powerful when you're documenting the journey and people can see like you was doing it 7 years ago and you're still doing it now. And not only you're still doing it now, you're actually thriving in it and you're growing still. Yeah. And they can see the growth. People love that, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a mindset as well of investing in yourself because it is hard. You know, it's like, say if you have spare capital that you've earned, you've put blood, sweat and tears to earn this capital, you've got it there, but you only want to use that for investments. So you really have to see it as investing in yourself. And you do that, and guess what? Now your income goes from here and it's creeping up. Yeah. You know, that's exactly what happened when we invested, in ourselves with the 12,000 program. So yeah, but when I started in property, I remember I was paying people to do coaching sessions. I was paid like a one-off 1 hour coaching. It was okay. I got a lot from it, but I needed more. I needed someone where I could just message and get a response back, in a good amount of time. 100%. I needed the community as well, so I could speak with other people that are in the same position as me, or a bit further on, but not too far on. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So when you're on your first or second deal, you speak with someone that's on 5 or 6 and they're in a community, like what we have with the High Performance Academy, That's powerful.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah, man. And that's the beauty about HBA is the fact that they have that aftercare.
Yeah.
Because that's the bit, you know, like when I first started, like I've done a couple of courses, but there was no aftercare.
Yeah.
But luckily, the sort of person I am, I'm like a dog with a bone.
Yeah.
Once I want something, I'm not stopping till I get it. But some people, well, a lot of people actually are not wired like that.
Yeah.
They do want their hand to be held.
Yeah.
And what happens is sometimes if you haven't got the clarity and you're not quite risk averse, it causes procrastination.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with our students, they don't have that issue because we're there every step of the way.
That's it. 100%. And we've helped over 230 people, you know, start, scale and grow their property businesses.
It's crazy, that is.
You know, it's nice. And we make it a family environment as well. So yeah, it's definitely nice, man. But yeah, Sean, let's talk about what's working right now in UK property and what's not working.
Yeah.
So I've got a point here because I've got this mixed portfolio. I've got commercial properties, working professional HMOs, I've got an Airbnb, and I've got social housing HMOs. Probably clear to the viewers that my favorite strategy out of all of those is definitely the social housing HMOs and the commercial as well. You know, no bills, no maintenance issues. I don't have to pay for the bills or the maintenance issues, zero management involved. The commercial ones, there is a bit of management involved just to make sure they pay on time, that kind of stuff. But with the social housing ones, it's definitely my favorite, you know. But what I think doesn't work as well right now, working professional HMOs, unless they're in very high value areas, like say, for example, in London, I think you could do it quite well. Still, compared to social housing, I still think social housing is way better. But in the cheaper areas where you can't command those super high rates, like you can't get these £700 per month per room. Yeah. You're looking at 400 or 450. I don't think it works as well, you know, because there's a certain ceiling price where it's very hard to push past that ceiling price in like very low working class areas. What do you think on that strategy and on a rent to rent perspective as well? What do you think about that? Does rent to rent HMO working professional still work?
You know what? It doesn't, like you said, I think rent to rent HMOs, I know some people in London that are doing it. I think the rest of the UK, it's very hard to make the figures work. Pre-COVID, it was a lot easier because the rents were a lot lower. Post-COVID, rents just skyrocketed, didn't they? It went absolutely crazy. So it's very hard to make it work. Whereas with social housing, it's great because you're solving a bigger problem. So you're able to get an enhanced rate as opposed to a normal market rent. So with rent to HMO, it works a little bit differently because what you're doing essentially, you're solving a problem. So you're finding houses that you can add value to. That's the way I used to do it anyway. So I'd find a house, the house would be run down, and it would usually be a landlord that's struggling to rent it. Usually because the property is at a poor standard. So then I would go in there and I would spend some money on it, getting it refurbed. I mean, as a result, because of the current condition, I'd be able to negotiate a below market value rent. And then I'd add the value, then I'd obviously increase the rent. And that's how I'd be able to make like £500 to £1,000. But now, even the way the market is, even the poor standard properties, they want the world for it. So it's really hard to make it work.
The landlords just need that to work for them because they're getting taxed out of their eyeballs. In the UK. So, but Sean, you're very humble because you missed out something there. The fact that you've got options to buy on a lot of these. So talk to us about that. How did you secure those kind of deals and how can people do the same?
Absolute game changer. What I love about lease options is you have the option to buy. The landlord has an obligation to sell to you. So the landlord might be in a situation where maybe they're looking to sell and they're looking to rent it at the same time as well. Maybe they're open to both options. Everyone has different circumstances, and I didn't think landlords would be open to this until I just asked the question. It shows
you tried,
and you know what? It taught me the lesson that you've got to be open-minded. You can't be fixed-minded, and also you can be very careful that you don't put limitations on yourself because of your own belief system. So you ask the question, like, can I buy the property now, but almost like a delay completion? can I buy it in 7 years? With the current market conditions, what the landlord wants for it now is just not worth it. But I can buy it now. I can take off the mortgage payments from you. These deals are highly profitable. And then in like 5 to 7 years time, I have the option to actually purchase the property.
Yeah.
Take it from there. So for me, it's such a game changer because I can then work on that property as if I own it because I've got the option to buy it. So I can make amendments with it and I can really invest in the property. And then in the end, I can purchase it, take it from there.
Yeah. Another thing as well, what you haven't really spoke about that much online, not as far as I can see, is the fact that you packaged and sourced over, what is it, 25, 30 deals?
Yeah, about 30 deals, yeah. Roughly 30 deals,
Wow.
yeah.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, very hard, yeah.
Talk to me about that process. What was the deal types? Where did you find all these investors to buy? Talk to us.
Oh, I was all over it. This was actually in COVID. So one of the things that enabled me to find investors, I actually created a lead magnet. So I don't know if you remember, but in COVID, I created an ebook. And the ebook was how to find properties. And I basically ran that ebook as an ad, put it all over social media. And what it was teaching the process of exactly how I find properties to purchase at the time. And then at the end, it had like a call to action to basically book a call with me if you want me to help you do the same and find the properties. So it was great because what it enabled investors to see is, okay, well, how is this guy actually vetting these properties? How does he find them? How does the process work? And then they could get to the end of the ebook and think, actually, I haven't got, all seems great, but I haven't got time to do it. So let me just ask Sean to do it. And that's exactly how I did it.
Wow.
And I'd go out there and find the properties and source them for like £2,500, £3,000 at the time as well. Sourcing, I only did a few. I'd probably say I'd say about between 7 and 10 BRR deals. The rest were all rent to rents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a very unique way. I didn't actually know that's how you did it.
Yeah.
I just presumed that you had a great network. You are very good at networking. You're much better than me at networking, to be honest, because I'm quite introverted.
Yeah.
So like now, obviously you're in Dubai right now and everything, and it's a place for networking.
Yeah.
Because for people watching, we're in Dubai right now. I don't know if people know that, but we are in a podcast studio in Dubai, in Business Bay, right next to where I live. And I've been saying to myself, I need to do some more networking. I need to speak with one new person a day.
Yeah.
But I'm just like tunnel. I'm just focused, but I need to do it.
Yeah. I think what I would say with networking is just don't put too much pressure on yourself. I think put yourself in the environment. One of the things that I want to start doing in Dubai is more networking. I mean, more speaking engagements, which is a form of networking because I love speaking. I love doing speaking engagements. And I think it's a great way of networking. So imagine you want to speak, like speak to one new person a day. And if you go and do a speaking engagement of like, even if it's 100 people, those 100 people are going to be very interested. They're going to know you straight away. They're going to be very interested in speaking to you straight away. They know you because that's what it's more about. It's more about people knowing who you are and you being able to get attention. And then that will eventually trickle down into leads, sales, opportunities, all sorts of different things.
Yeah, definitely. So Sean, what would you say stops a lot of people from being successful in property?
I would say limiting beliefs. One of my favorite quotes, and I had it in my office, at home. It says, "All limitations are self-imposed," and I think that's what it is. I think people need to get out of their own head, remove the limitations, and understand that there are unlimited opportunities out there. What it is, you've got to condition your mind to spot the opportunities. You must have heard like the red car theory before.
No, what's that?
You buy, let's say you're buying a red car. You might be a very specific car. Let's say it's a Tesla. All of a sudden you see all these red Teslas just because you're interested in buying one.
Yeah.
But before you didn't see them at all. But the red Teslas were always there. It's just that your mind wasn't conditioned to see them. It's the same with opportunities. Opportunities are out there. They've always been out there, but if your mind's not conditioned to see them, this is the crazy thing. The opportunity could be right in front of you, and you'll just sabotage your own success because you're not ready for it.
Yeah. You do see that, a lot of people sabotage their own success, and it could be a very deep rooted issue that they've got. Say, for example, someone's got something that happened early on in their career. They had a massive setback in their career. and it threw them off. They kind of gave up on themselves. And it's a shame because I know people like that. And it's like trying to get people to snap out of that mindset and say, look, it's possible. You can do it. Like, people need to know, me and you, we did not start out with a silver spoon. We didn't
100%.
start out with 100K, 200K, like, to play with, to invest with. No, it wasn't the case. Like, I started my property portfolio with started with like, saved up about £6,000, borrowed £6,000 from different investors, bought my first property, got an absolute steal on my first property, below market value, refinanced it, pulled out some money, bought my second one, worked with investors, scraped the money together, nearly went broke multiple times, went through a lot of stress. It was worth it. If I could go back, I would do everything a lot differently. But we got it done. And we built now to 31 properties. And it's been a crazy journey. But it all started really with believing in myself. And it's super important. You have to believe in yourself.
So that's I love that advice, because believing in yourself is like 50% of the work. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to take the relevant action needed to actually achieve the success. But what can people do? Let's say someone's watching now and they just really find it hard to believe in themselves, they have a low self-worth. What can they do? Well, what did you do?
I would say that confidence comes from experience. So part of believing in yourself is being confident. And just knowing who you are, like deep down, you know, when shit hits the fan, are you a strong person or do you just crumble? Because some people might not be strong enough to run a successful property business, because it can be very stressful.
Oh, it's extremely stressful.
It can be. And they need to be like, kind of like a soldier mentality. I kind of view myself as a soldier. Even though I've never served in the army. But I think that, say if there's like a 20-year-old guy watching this, I'd say they need to be on point with their gym, working out, going to the gym, competing. They could even do things to like physically and mentally toughen themselves up, like jiu-jitsu, boxing. These are great because it allows you to understand that you put in the work, you fail, but you get better from all the failures. Like in jiu-jitsu, you get tapped out. You know, okay, next time I'm going to put my chin down so I can't get choked. You know these little things. You get better, you get stronger, you get more success. It's the same with business. People can apply it. They can apply all these things from sports into business. You know, do some sports, compete. And it'll make you mentally tough because you need that in business.
100%.
And some people that I see fail is when they start the business, they come across their first obstacle, maybe their second or third kind of major obstacle, and they crumble down like a cookie. They're just crumbling and they're giving up mentally. As soon as you mentally give up, you might as well call it a day. You can't give up. So that's what I see.
100%. I would say on that point as well, I think consistency is really important, because people don't understand. You probably heard it. Everyone's heard the term consistency. You know, in terms of business, you've got to be consistent. What you don't realize, you know, when you're consistent, you throw enough mud at the wall, some will stick. That's the first one. So you're bound. It's inevitable. You are going to succeed eventually. But also, what it does for yourself, even on a subconscious level, you end up winning, and you have lots of small wins on the way when you're consistent. And those small wins gives you a dopamine hit, and it enables you to think, actually, this is actually working. I've got evidence of progress. That progress is making me believe in myself to go to that next level because you completed it. But if you're not consistent, you're never going to be able to believe in yourself because you've got no evidence. Because to believe in yourself, you've got to be delusional. Like, we have both started businesses. Who told us that we was going to have 7-figure businesses? Like, we didn't have no experience in it, but we had that belief system, and we worked our way up into achieving that status because we was consistent along the way. We celebrated the wins. We had dopamine hit. We had delayed gratification, and that all those small wins enabled us to be able to carry on because of the evidence of progress.
100%. And I think one thing people can practically do right now is write down exactly what they want from life. You know, write it down. Put it in your notes on your iPhone if you don't have pen and paper. Just you need to write it down exactly what you want. And the more specific someone can be, the better.
Yeah.
Because one thing that's massively helped me year on year, I think I'm in my 8th year in property now. From day one, when I started LN Capital, when I started my business, I was very clear on what I wanted. I wanted a large property portfolio that would pay me passive income. And it took me a while to get the exact strategy to make that happen. The goal was the same. The strategy has changed over the years, but the goal has always been the same. I'm so glad I found it with social housing. You can literally be on a beach, getting paid passive income. There's nothing better. That's what I visioned it from day one.
Yeah.
So things that people can do is write down their goals in the past tense. I've said this before, but just a practical tip for people, write down your goals. So for example, right now it's August 2025, sorry, September. Someone can write down the 1st of September 2026. I own 5 properties. I own this car. I am in the best shape of my life. Different goals. You can do them for personal goals. You can also do them for business goals. And write them down like you've already achieved them, and every single day read them first thing in the morning. It's a very powerful technique to start your day in the right way.
I can vouch for you on this, because I remember the first time I came to your 1-bed apartment you had in Nottingham.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was very impressed with, it was in your face, your little flip board that you had, and on there it had everything that you're talking about. You literally had it there.
Yeah.
And that, I rate that.
Practice what I preach.
Yeah, 100%. And it obviously worked. I remember when, I think at the time it said, I will have 18 properties. I will own 18 properties. Wow. Obviously now you got 31.
Yeah.
So at the time, the 18 was something you was working towards. So I don't know what you had back then. Maybe you had like 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
But you achieved it because you manifested it. And not only when you manifest it, you work towards it. But then it's something that's very powerful, seeing it. What did you think seeing it every day? Because where you had it was in your living room. So you obviously spend a lot of time in your living room and you're just seeing it there every day. What do you think that did for you?
I think it's just like a law of attraction technique to help you stay focused on the right things. Because I think in today's generation, there's so much going on with social media, with the news, with just day-to-day crazy life. There's so much going on. All of these things are distractions from actually what you actually want. So having that in your face every day, it helps you to stay focused. And I think people really overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
They need to just ask themselves, what do you want to achieve? What do you want from life? Anything else, eliminate it. People have to make sacrifices. Like I sacrificed a lot to get to what I've done now. I'm not saying I'm something big or I've done anything major, but like I had to sacrifice a lot of things. And I think the first thing people are going to have to sacrifice is the party life. Yeah. Buying designer clothes. Yeah. Buying luxury cars. Those 3 things there, that can come later if you want it later. But the truth is, once you level up and get more and more success, you start realizing what's important, like building wealth, you know, family, relationships, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You'll be less materialistic the more success you have. So some of my initial goals, they're not even my goals anymore. It was so important at the start, but now it's like, it's on the bottom of the list. It's on the list still, but it's not on the top, you know? Yeah. If I have to have a choice, buy another property or buy a luxury car, I'm choosing the property, man.
Yeah, of course, because the property will pay for the car.
Yeah.
And it's an asset, not a liability. So it just makes sense. But the issue that you've got is, you know, the process that 6 to 9 months it might take to buy the property and refurb it and start achieving cash flow. People don't want that. People want the instant hit of, if you've got 100K, okay, let me go and spend 100K on buying a car instead.
Yeah, stupid.
So I think it's understanding your long-term goals, isn't it? And understanding what exactly you're looking to achieve.
Yeah,
so,
that's it.
Yeah.
And the sacrifice thing is big as well.
Yeah.
So, but Sean, honestly, it's been a great podcast. Thanks for coming on. And for anyone interested that wants to, you know, get advanced training for myself and you know, we run the High Performance Academy together. So people can click on the link in the description of this video, book in a call with our team. The team will run through everything with them, you know, and see if it's the right fit. It is application only.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
Yeah, man.
Nice one. Guys, as well, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned, we've got a lot more content coming for you guys. If you need a mortgage broker, I'd recommend Mortgage Style. They're the best in the game. I've had 5 brokers tell me no, but Mortgage Style tell me yes. Link is in the description.